I was following you, of course, on social media, and it seemed like racing this past weekend in Illinois that you were pretty dang fast. What you set the fastest lap on Friday. You won on Sunday. Tell us about your dirt racing this past weekend.
Well, I appreciate you bringing it up, Charlie. So yeah, we're still racing hard. We're right there with the most races run this year in my dirt modified. Friday, we had weather pending all over. We looked at the radar and we said, well, we think it's going to clear up. We're going to be all right. Sure enough, we went up to Farmer City, Illinois. Track conditions were perfect. And I've been working hard on my chassis setup. And we set a new track record. And what that means is in the history of that racetrack, since that racetrack was ever built, we set the quickest time for a dirt modified, UMP modified, but got my butt kicked in the big race, finished second to a kid named Jeffrey Lefford, young 19-year-old kid, really good, but I wasn't embarrassed. It was a great Friday. Saturday, everything got rained out everywhere, nowhere to race. But Sunday, we went up to Quincy, Illinois, a track that's been shut down for 2 or 3 years, and put another new chassis setup in it, very slippery track, and qualified second, won my heat, and then won the race. So, hey, new track record, a first and a second. We rolled back into Arnold, Missouri last night around 12:30, and all is good.
And I saw another gentleman posted a clip where you were there on the microphone and you were talking to the crowd about how important it is when somebody tries and does bring a track back from the dead, I think you said, how important it is for the local racers like yourself and other folks to get out there and support that track.
So that falls underneath our 7-time champion, Mike Harrison. He is the 7-time dirt modified champion. And he tells me all the time, he looks at me, he goes, Herm, you're good for the sport. And Charlie, I take that as a responsibility. So, let's face it, I ran NASCAR my whole life. I don't think I'm anything. But when I go to these tracks, these guys that are really good, like a Mike Harrison or any of these drivers, when they feel good and they want to talk to me, they'll tell me. And so I take that responsibility and I run with it. And so they asked me to talk on the microphone during intermission. And I said, hey, thank you, fans, for showing up. I called out all the drivers. I said, thank all the drivers. And everybody needs to come up to Quincy, Illinois on Sundays. They start early, got over at 9 o'clock. And, these racetracks, we don't want them closing, Charlie. We want them to stay open. And it was a good crowd, big car count. And, it was a great Sunday. So I take my responsibility for dirt racing. I want to promote it. I want it to do better. And so that's what that little talk was all about.